This is R.D. Sharma Solution Class 12, Chapter 15, Mean Value Theorems. Exercise is 15.1. Verify a Rolle's theorem for the following function, and this interval is -1 to 0 and the function is x by 2 minus sine pi x by 6. So this x is a polynomial, single order polynomial. The sine function, so polynomial and sine function both are continuous and differentiable. And the third thing, which will be the fa equals fb, the value of the function at -1 and the value of the function at 0, whether they are equal or not. Let's check. So f -1 we have to find and f0 we have to compute. This is -1 by 2 minus sine pi multiplied by -1 divided by 6. Here we will have a 0 by 2 minus sine pi into 0 by 6. This is, see, sine 0 is 0, 0 by 2 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Here we have -half, and we always know from trigonometry that sine negative theta is negative sine theta. Cos negative theta is plus cos theta. So here negative becomes plus. Minus half sine, see, sine pi by 6 is half. So half minus half is 0. Now we got fa and fb both as equal. So next one is differentiation. We will differentiate this function, put it as 0, and whatever x value will come, that we will regard as a c value that lies between -1 and 0 if all it is possible. So we have f dash x I am finding out. Fx is always in the question which you see. So x by 2 is half, minus sine will be cos pi x by 6. Then the differentiation of pi x by 6 will give us pi by 6. So this is pi by 6. Okay. Now we can put it as 0, but please keep an eye on the interval. It's -1 and 0. So we have to do something here. Pi cos pi by 6 is equal to half. So this cos pi x by 6 will be equal to 3 by pi. Now when you take the cos inverse of this 3 by pi and then multiply it by 6 by pi. Before that I have to tell you that cos negative theta is cos theta. So if I put negative here, it will hardly matter because cos negative theta is cos theta. And now I am taking cos on the right hand side. That is negative pi x by 6 equals cos inverse 3 by pi. When you take this cos inverse 3 by pi, this pi by 6 will get inverted and go on the right hand side. It will be -6 by pi cos inverse 3 by pi. So now you see this value is lying between -1 and 0. You have to go to the tables and find out this value. Cos inverse 3 by pi multiplied by -6 by pi. You can always take pi as 22 by 7 3.14 or this pi in the radians. So now this -1 and 0, because that the idea why we introduce this negative is just because we have to show you that it's between -1 and 0. Otherwise that may go beyond some other domain or range. So the next question is also on the same track as the question we have seen. So we have this 0 pi by 6. This is 6x by pi. So x is a polynomial. Sine theta or sine x is a trigonometric function, and they both are C and D, that is continuous and differentiable. So you have to write all these which I am speaking out. You have to write. I'll show you also what to write, but after this the third step is fa is equal to fb or not. What is a? 0. What is b? Pi by 6. So I'm putting a as 0. It will be 6 into 0 by pi, 4 sine square 0. Here pi by 6. So 6 into pi by 6 divided by pi minus 4 sine square pi by 6. Now pi gets cancelled. 6 is 1 minus 4. Now what is sine 30 degree? Sine 30 degree is half. Sine 30 degree is half. Half square is 1 by 4. 4 multiplied by 1 by 4 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Here we have 0. Then here 0 also, because both the terms were 0. So f0 is equal to f pi by 6. When both the values are equal, 0 is equal to 0, that is the third condition also is being met. Now we go ahead for the next one, which is when differentiation is done, that value has to be put as 0, and whatever value we get, that will be our C. So I'm differentiating it. X will be 1, so 6 by pi minus 4. Sine square will be 2 sine x. So I'm treating it as x raised n. So 2 sine x, then the differentiation of sine x is going to be cos x. And this has to be put as 0. So what do you get? This you will be tempted to multiply and keep it like this. 8 sine x cos x equals to 6 by pi. 8 will go on the right. It will give you 3 by 4 pi. But that will not solve our purpose. Why? Because we have sine x cos x. If we keep that 2 intact, 2 sine x cos x is sine 2x. And then you can take things on the right hand side. Then you will get a proper twice x value, and then you can take the inverse on right hand side. That's why don't multiply 4 and 2. Keep it like that. Take 4 and 6 by pi that side. So sine pi, as I said, sine x cos x multiplied by 2 is sine 2x. So when you have sine 2x, now take on the right hand side. This will give you 3 by 2 pi. Now in the previous question we have done that thing. We have to take the inverse here. So 2x is going to be sine inverse 3 by 2 pi. So 2 will go here. X will be half sine inverse 3 by 2 pi. Again, let me assure you that this value falls between 0 and pi by 6. Exact value we have to go to the tables and find out. But right now, go with my words, it's between 0 and pi by 6. So this is the final value of C, where f dash x becomes 0 in this interval of 0 to pi by 6. And whatever I have spoken, the way you have to write is exactly the solution which is being present to you right now. See, if you know things, it's very good. But you have to show and let others know that you know it. For that, you have to either speak properly or write properly. So this is the written material for it. Now 4 raised sine x between 0 and pi. We have to verify the Rolle's theorem for the following function on the indicated interval. This is a raised x form. Okay, this is a raised x form. So it's a kind of an exponential function. So px to the power qx, there are two functions, and this px in the first part, which is a simple constant 4. So don't worry about that. Sin x you can worry about, because sin x is continuous as well as differentiable. So you can very well say the first thing, continuity and differentiability has been established. Then we have to find out f a and f b. A has to be taken as 0 and b can be taken as pi. F a and f b, let us check whether they are equal or not. So 4 raised sine 0, 4 raised sine pi. Sine 0 is 0, sine pi is 0, 4 raised to 0. Anything to the power 0 will always be 1. So we are getting fa is equal to fb, 1 equal 1. The next thing that will come is the differentiation of this function and putting it as 0. And then the value which comes, if it is between 0 and pi, then we'll say, oh, right, this is the value which Rolle's theorem after verification has provided us. So we have this fx is equal to 4 raised sine x. F dash x is, see, this is a raised to the power x. A raised x differentiation is a raised x log a. The a should be constant. So 4 sine x, a raised this thing sine x, and then log a. Log a here is 4. Now differentiation of sine x also to be done, sin x will be cos. All this has to be equated to 0 in order to find out the value of x, which will make this differentiated function as 0. See, 4 raised cannot be 0, log 4 cannot be 0, cos x has to be 0, x will be pi by 2. Pi by 2 lies between 0 and pi, 90 degree lies between 0 and 180 degree. So this is a correct value, and that is the value we were interested in. And again, these are the step-by-step explanation of what we have just witnessed, the solution. And see, this type of solution in R.D. Sharma or R.S. Agarwal, questions are being repeated just to make the student understand it very well. To do question of the same kind again and again and again, then practice makes a man perfect. That is why it is important for me to show you the answers also. If you are quite confident, oh, I have done enough questions, then you can go to the next question. Then we have verify Rolle's theorem for the following function on the indicated interval. So this is a very straightforward question, because this is simply a polynomial. A polynomial is what? Continuous also and differentiable also. When this polynomial follows both the things, the first and the second part of our Rolle's theorem, then we can go to the third part, which is fa equals fb, f1 equal f4, and I can see this x square minus 5x plus 4, and it can be easily seen that 1 and 4 are nothing but the factors of this polynomial or the quadratic function. I am writing negative 5x as negative x minus 4x. You can take x common, so you get x minus 1. You can take minus 4x minus 1 and you put it as 0. So x will be 1 and x will be 4 if you put it at 0. So you can see that 1 and 4 are nothing but the roots of this quadratic equation. So even if you want to show it like this, put 1 and 4, they are going to come as 0 only, because root means that the function will give 0 value for these roots. So this f1 and f4 are being equated now. The third is the differentiation of this function, putting it as 0, and that is going to give you the value which Rolle's theorem gives us. So I am differentiating, 2x minus 5 will come, x will be equal to 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is nothing but 2.5, and 2.5 or 5 by 2 lies between 1 and 4. Hence, Rolle's theorem has been verified, because 2.5 or 5 by 2 is indeed in between 1 and 4. This is a very straightforward question, and let me show you how you are going to actually write it in the process of solving. So this question is easy, but to write it on the paper, it will take time, because the other person has to understand that you know it. Verify Rolle's theorem for the following function on the indicated interval. Fx equals sine raised 4x plus cos raised 4x on 0 and pi by 2, between 0 and pi by 2. So sine and cos both are continuous and differentiable, that already has been established. And f0 and f pi by 2, let me tell you that they both will give you the same value. A equals 0 and b equals pi by 2. So when you put 0, sine raised 4 0, cos raised 4 0. Here we have sine this pi by 2 raised 4, sine cos pi by 2 raised 4. So sine 0 will be 0, cos 0 is 1. Sine pi by 2 is 1, cos pi by 2 is 0. So even if you raise it to the power 4, it's going to give you the same value, that is 1 in both the case. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then when you get fa equals fb, that is f0 equals f pi by 2. The next thing comes is the differentiation of this function and putting it as 0. So we have this x to the power n kind of thing, and then we'll put it as 0. Let us do it. So I'm differentiating it now. It will be x raised n type, so it will be nx to the power n minus 1. It will be 4 sine raised 3 now, and the differentiation of sine x is going to be cos x. Then we have 4 cos cube x, and differentiation of cos x will be minus sine x, negative sine x, and this has to be equated to 0. So whatever you can take common from here, because see, solution or solving of this function or equation, they are different types. I mean, there are different ways to do it. For example, one way can be, you can take this 4 sine and cos x outside. You'll get something like this, sine square minus cos square, and you can use the formula of sine square and cos square. You know that cos square minus sine square theta is cos 2 theta. We already know that. So that is one way of doing it. And as I said, there are multiple ways of doing it. I'll show you one way. I'll show you another way when I show you the solution. So this, I'll try to minimize the computation of this by saying 4 can be taken common. You can just ignore it, because 4 can never be 0. And then we have sine and cos. So what you can do here is, you can take some division in order to get certain value that lies between 0 and pi by 2 when it is placed against 0. So we have sine and cos we have divided on both the side. So this will only sine square, and this will only be cos square, sine square minus cos square. And now this is equal to 0. You can do one more thing. You can divide both sides by sine square, this cos square now. Cos square will be better. When you divide both sides by cos square, sine square by cos square minus cos square by cos square is equal to 0 by cos square. And that is going to give you 10 square minus 1 equals 0. So you can always say that 10 square is equal to 1, and 10 will be equal to plus minus 1. But the better way is to use that a squared minus b squared formula. So 10 square x will be 10 square minus 1 square equals 0. So this, as I said, you can do it in different ways. 10 square minus 1 square will be 10x minus 1, 10x plus 1 equals 0. It will be 10x equals 1 and 10x equals negative 1. So this minus 1 is not in that range. You know that add sugar to coffee, you have to see that at what value x is going to give you -1. It will not be between 0 to pi by 2 in any case. But 10x equals to 1, x will give you the value as pi by 4, 45 degree, and that is lying between 0 and pi by 2. So this is your answer. So this is the one way, and as I was indicating you and informing you that there are certain other ways to do it. I'll show you some other way, but you know, wherever you go, if the destination is same, the path will look same or similar. This you see almost similar to what I explained, but you can follow this approach also if you are comfortable with this. So this tan x equals plus minus 1 that we have already seen. Now this sin x minus sin 2x. So there are two things which we can do. Either we can solve it, or we can just go back and revisit this question, because this question or this type of question has already been attempted and being completed and being explained. So this there are certain questions which are repeated in different books. So this cos 2x, if you remember, we have already converted it to 2 cos square x minus 1, and then we found out a quadratic equation, solved it, and then we found out the value between 0 and pi, and in this case this c will be pi by 2 and 2 pi by 3. So I'm just going ahead. This is question of different sort. Y is equal to 16 minus x square. It is not asking for Rolle's theorem proof or whatever. It is just saying that using Rolle's theorem, we have to find points where the tangent is parallel to x-axis. Rolle's theorem says that if you start with A, come back to B, then there will be certain point where you have to turn back. And that turning back, that point, the slope or m or tan theta will be parallel to x-axis. That is, the dy by dx will be equal to 0 in different words. So what we will do here, this is slope, m, tan theta, whatever word you use, they all are going to indicate you the similar thing. The parallel to x-axis means dy by dx or m or tan theta is going to be 0, because tan theta or dy by dx is nothing but the angle with the positive x-axis. But if it is 0, it is going to be 0. So let us differentiate this 16 minus x squared and we'll put it as 0. So we have to find out the coordinate of that point where the tangent is parallel to x-axis. dy by dx is what? 16 is 0. This minus 2x equals 0. So we will get x as 0. Minus 2x equals 0. That means x is equal to 0. So we have to find points now. So when we got x, we can always go for y. So put x as 0. Y is going to be 16. So the coordinate will be 0 and 16. This is the point where the tangent is parallel to x-axis here in this question. So this is how you are going to solve it. So differentiability, continuity, and other things like fa equal to fb is not required here. -1 and 1, don't worry about that. dy by dx is equal to 0 is only the sufficient condition which you know to solve this question. 0 and 16 is the answer for this question. This is the required point. Now this question we are going to take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much and take care of yourself.